Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the EntreSkills for Educators webinar. I'm Kathy Fitzmaurice from the New York Small Business Development Center, and I'm the Customer Service and Training Manager for the EntreSkills team. Right now, everybody is muted. We will take questions throughout the presentation. To ask a question, either type it into the question box on your control panel, or if you have a working microphone, you can click the hand icon on the control panel and I'll unmute you. I am recording today's session and I'll put it on the EntreSkills YouTube page, which you can access from the EntreSkills website. Just go down to the bottom and you'll see the links to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So just quickly, I'll tell you what to expect today. I'm going to tell you what EntreSkills for Educators is, give you some helpful hints on how to use it. I'll go through how you register as a teacher, and I'll go through the chapter content and the teacher features, and I'll also tell you how you would get your students registered to use the program. And like I said, we will take questions throughout the presentation. So what is EntreSkills? EntreSkills is an online entrepreneurial education course. It's developed by the New York Small Business Development Center. It was created with the help of teachers and New York Small Business Development Center advisors. And it's used by high schools, community colleges, and community organizations. It's also used by our business advisors with our New York SBDC clients. So I just want to give you some helpful hints on how to use it. There really is no right or wrong way to use EntreSkills. Some teachers use the entire curriculum and all of the features. Other teachers just use select content or the business plan builder. And there's a help manual. I just want to point that out. You'll see that when we log in. So how to register. If you're a teacher, you'll go to the login box and you'll select a user type, teacher, and then the box will pop up that I need an account. And that'll take you down here and you can click on register as a teacher. And this brings you to the teacher registration page. And EntreSkills is free for New York State educators. And that can be a high school, a community college, a college, or a community organization. So when you register, you'll just put in the requested information. A lot of people use their email address for their usernames. That makes it easier for them to remember. And then down here you'll select what you're associated with. We do have most all of the school districts listed in here, and the community colleges. For community organizations, we'll add you as you register. So just like it says here, contact us if you don't see your school listed. Now, once you fill out this information and click the Submit button, you'll receive an email that confirms that you've registered for EntreSkills. You'll then need to wait for a member of the EntreSkills team to activate you. You'll then get an email telling you that you've been activated. So then you can go ahead and log in and start using the system. Now, some people do have an existing account if they have forgotten their information. They go here and just click on the I forgot my username or password, fill in the requested information, click submit, and you'll receive an email that has your log information in it. If you're not sure if you have an account, just send us an email or give us a call, and our contact information is right here, and we'll let you know if you do have an account or not. So let's go ahead and log in as a teacher. Now the first thing you'll see is this main menu page, and you'll notice you've got the chapters menu, you've got the teacher menu, which has all the features for the teachers, and links up here are similar to some of the links down here. I'm going to start off by giving you an overview of what the content is. So we'll start with chapter 1. Every chapter starts with an overview of what to expect for each chapter. It lists all the pages in the chapter and the objectives. And you can navigate through the chapter by clicking the next and back buttons, or you can go directly to a page by clicking on the link here. Every chapter has a success story. And for our student version, we've tried to target student entrepreneurs for the success stories. And as you move through, or as the users move through the program, they'll find surveys. So this one's pretty simple. Why did they want to take the course? When they answer, it gives them responses and however other people have responded. And there are some helpful hints throughout. One thing that's important is to make sure everyone saves their work and that they use complete sentences. You'll see related resources, and these are links to outside websites that complement the material on the page. We also have videos of our New York Small Business Development Center clients reinforcing the concepts that are addressed on the page. Now here we have a worksheet box, and the worksheet boxes are really meant to get a person thinking about what they're going to put in their business plan. So the students can type their answers in. I'm going to cheat and copy and paste, and then click Save Worksheet. So their work will be saved as they go along. And you'll see some worksheet boxes here. Now I'm going to jump ahead to Chapter 4, because this is where the business plan builder boxes start. And these are similar to the worksheet boxes, but these will actually go into the student's business plan. So and again, it's important that they type in complete sentences. That means there will be less editing when they do export the business plan. So again, they type in their answers and click Save. I'm going to go back to the main menu and just show you we've got how the chapters progress. We've got an intro to entrepreneurship. 3 talks about starting a business and forming ideas and evaluating ideas. It introduces the business plan. Chapter 4 is all about positioning your business. 5 is knowing your market. So that's understanding the industry, your competition, your customer profile. Chapter 6, how you do business. This is about strategy and operations and business forms. And it goes through, you'll see marketing, business in the internet. We've got a chapter on the global marketplace and government opportunities. There is a finances chapter. And I want to point out the EntreSkills Financials Workbook is available to download here. It's an Excel spreadsheet. I'll go ahead and do that. And this was created by one of our business advisors, so it has start of costs, working capital, income statement, and the other statements. So the student would work on this offline. And the finances chapter does take them through using that workbook. So those are the chapters. I'm not going to go through them in too much detail because you can jump in and look at that on your own. Now the next thing I want to go over is the teacher menu. The first thing you'll see is the My Classes section. And this shows all the classes that you might have created. Now you don't need to use this feature. You might just use the content in the program. However, if you want to register your students to use EntreSkills, then you would need to create a class. I do have 2 classes created here. I'll go ahead and show you what the Add a Class page looks like. So you just give your class a name, put the other details in, and click the Create Class button, and then it'll show up on your class list. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. And you'll see the different buttons here, you can edit the class details, and that's again just the name of the class, the time and date. Students button, that lists all your students that are in your classes, and you'll see this yellow bar says that there are students waiting to be activated, and I will show you that in just a moment, what that does. The assignments button will show you all the assignments that you've created for your, all the assignments you've assigned to that particular class. It shows the open assignments and the closed assignments. And from this page, you can edit an assignment. You can also extend the due date in case a class or a student missed the assignment. You can also deactivate a class, and you might want to use this if the class is over. That's a nice feature for that. And here's a shortcut to creating a class. Now back to this, you'll notice the class ID. This is EntreSkills assigns a class ID for each class you create. And it's important to take note of this number because when you have your students register for EntreSkills, they'll need this class ID to do that. And I'm going to quickly log out and show you how a student would register. So they'll come to the EntreSkills site, select user type as student, and then click I need an account, and then click the register as a student button. And they'll put in the required information, and then when they get down here, they'll know obviously what school district they're in. You'll select the school district, then you select a school from the drop-down menu, and then you look for your teacher's name. And here's where the class ID is important. This teacher has 2 classes, and so the student should select the proper class. Then they create their own password and click submit. Once they've done that, they'll receive an email confirming their registration, and the teacher will receive an email confirming that the student has registered. The student won't be able to log in yet. The teacher will need to activate them. So I'll log back in as a teacher and show you how to do that. So again, there's the yellow bar that says students are waiting to be activated, and you can see going down to the student list, there's the Activate Now button. And it's as simple as that to activate your students. So once you do that, the student receives an email that they have been activated and can go ahead and log into the program. And are there any questions? All right. The Students button simply lists all your students, and this you can sort this list by class. If you had a lot of students, you could search for their name using the search feature. And from here you can email your student, you can look at their business plan, their worksheet work, you can deactivate them, and you can also look at the student's details. From the student detailed page, you can move a student to another class. If they've registered for the wrong class by mistake, that's when this feature comes in handy. If they've dropped your class, you can use the delete the student feature. This page will list what assignments they've completed, what assignments they have to do, and if they have any past due or missed assignments. And from this page, you can grade a student's assignment, and I'll go back to that in just a moment. The My Assignments page lists all of the assignments that you've created, and it also has the SBDC's pre- and post-assessment exam. Some teachers like to assign the pre-assessment exam to their students at the beginning of the course, and then of course use the post-assessment exam at the end of the course. So these two are created by the EntreSkills system, and the rest of these are created by the teacher. So to create a new assignment, you'd click on Create a New Assignment. You'd give the assignment a name. And you can select a chapter association for it and click Create. And you've created an assignment. You do have to add the questions. So it brings you to the question bank. There are questions that are canned, that are in the system, and then there are questions, your questions that you create. And these questions down here are ones that I've already gone ahead and created. So if you want questions that are just for Chapter 14, you'd sort them by clicking on Filter by Chapter, Chapter 14, and you can see it lists questions that are just related to Chapter 14. I do have a question. Is this mobile device friendly? Yes, it is. And I'll just minimize the screen. You can see it'll adapt. Pretend this is a cell phone. But yes, it is mobile friendly. So I'm adding questions to this test. So I'll go through and check. I like this question, so I'll add that. And you can scroll through and see which questions you like. And you can go down to your questions that you've created and add which questions you want. If you make a mistake, you can remove them from here. You can also create a new question. And I'll go through this in just a moment. Now, once I've added the questions that I want, I click the Edit and Assign Points. So then I can review the questions that I've got. You can increase the point value. I want to make this one 10 points, and then just click Save. And to edit the question, I click Edit. And then I can review the answers. This is the correct answer. If that's not right, I can change it and click Save. If I want to reorder the questions, I can do that by clicking on this arrow. If I want to simply remove the question, that's how you get rid of it. So then that assignment is complete. And then you'll see it. Here it is on your list of created assignments. Jennifer, you have a question. Is there a way to show if they've completed a chapter before they do the assignment at the end of the chapter? You wouldn't be able to tell if they've read the content, but you would be able to tell if they've done the chapter work within that chapter. And I'll get to that a little bit later. Now, to assign an assignment to your class, you'd go to the My Assignments page and click on the Add to Class button. So I want to assign the pre-assessment exam. So you select your class from the drop-down menu, and then you'll click the date that it's available to the students. So you might want it to be available starting tomorrow. So I'll click on the 8th, and you want it available starting at 10 a.m. And these can be used as tests, or they can be used as homework assignments. It's up to you how you want to use them. And you can select a date due. You can put any instructions for the class in here if you want, and then click Add Assignment to the class. Once you've added an assignment to a class, you can see here some of these assignments give you the ability to add or remove a question. If it's already been assigned to a class, you're not allowed to add or remove questions. Now this Edit, Reorder, Remove Question button, this is a way to look at if you just want to view an assignment to refresh yourself on what is covered, this is how you do it. You'd go to My Assignments, Edit, Reorder, Remove Questions, and this enables you to view the question and the answers and make edits if needed. But again, if it's an assignment that's already assigned to a class, you won't be able to edit it while it's assigned. Any questions? So I'm going to go back to the teacher menu. Now here's the question bank, and this contains all the questions that you've created. And you can edit the questions from here. You'll notice this question is not on an active assignment, whereas this one is. So you won't be able to edit the ones that are on an active assignment. And again, if you want to create a new question, you can do that here as well. You can filter these questions by the type, and you can show all or filter them by the chapter. Now, Jennifer, here's how you would view what work your students are doing. You'll see the business plan and the worksheet links. I'm going to click on the business plan link. This brings you to the business plan builder summary section. So if you want to view your student in Class B and see what work the student has done, you'd select the class from the drop-down menu, then select the student, and the work that they've done will show up here. So the student's done some work on her business plan, not a lot, just filled out a couple of the boxes. The rest of this is empty, so they really haven't made too much progress. Now let's look at another student. This student's done absolutely nothing, so you'll see there's nothing input in any of these fields. If you want to see what chapter these are in, you just click on that button, click here to view in chapter, and it brings you right to the chapter and page where that business plan builder box is. And again, this is what your student would work on as they move through the chapters. And it's the same with the worksheets. Clicking on the worksheet link brings you to a similar page as the business plan builder summary section. And again, you'd filter by selecting the class you want and then the student. And you can see if this person has done any work. Ah, look, they did. They filled out something in this box. And Michelle wants to know if there are limits on the number of characters they can type in the business plan sections. There are. We've tried to make the limit pretty high for sections that have larger questions. So the character limit should be enough to satisfy what the clients and the students will be doing. If not, please send us an email because we might have made a mistake, and we can easily increase the character limit because we have run into that in the past with past versions of EntreSkills. So that's how a teacher would view a student's work on their business plan and in their worksheets. Jennifer, does that make sense? Oh, well, okay, good. Now I'll go through the rest of these links. The crosswalks and activities. The activities are PDF files of crossword puzzles, word search, applicable for the particular chapter they're listed under. So we have activities for chapters 2 through 14. And the teacher version has the actual puzzle. as well as the answer key. And the crosswalks are something a lot of teachers find helpful. These are curriculum maps for each chapter, so it details the core skills and content taught for each chapter, and the processes and the assessments used. So I know a lot of teachers find this to be a handy tool. Now going up here to the top menu, this business plan link takes you to what I showed you before. It's just another way to access your students' business plan work. And the resources section, again, provides you a link to the chapter worksheets, the business plan. It also lists references by chapter. And there's a link, another link for the crosswalks and activities. And there's also a glossary of the key terms that are found throughout EntreSkills. Now the help section, if you're ever confused about something or have an issue, you might find it here. You'll find our contact information. We have some frequently asked questions, and we also have the teacher and the student manuals. And just so you know, we on the EntreSkills team are available Monday through Friday, pretty much from 7:30 until 4. So if you do have a problem, we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Unfortunately, we're not here on the weekends or the holidays, but otherwise we're pretty available. And here, this is where you would access your account information, and also you would be able to log out here. So quickly I'll look at the My Account. Here, if for some reason you needed to change your name, you could do that here. You can change your email address, phone number, and this is where you would also change your password. And I know I went through this pretty quickly, but that's an overview of the program. And again, I want to say there's no right or wrong way to use EntreSkills. And Jennifer asks if there is a certificate of completion. We can certainly provide you with them. So you can email us with the names of the students you want certificates for, and we would mail them out to you. And so, as I was saying, there's no right or wrong way to use EntreSkills. I have a community college professor who's using it just to pull content, and he doesn't have his students register for the program. And then on the other end of that spectrum, I have a high school teacher who's using every aspect of it. He's giving his students assignments. He's having them use the business plan builder. He's having them go through each and every chapter and do all the work in there. So it's really meant to be used as you see fit. And again, I do want to remind people, one of the biggest problems we've had in the past is people saying their work has not saved. So it's really important after you type anything in any of these boxes that you click the Save Business Plan button or the Save Worksheet button, depending on which box they're working in. Then it'll tell you that it was last saved, so you'll know that that was a successful clicking. So I do want to point out that the New York Small Business Development Center is a nice complementary resource to EntreSkills. We have 24 locations around the state. Our website is at nysbdc.org. And you can click on our location section to see all the different offices located around the state. You're sure to find one near you. We also have many resources. We have some great publications, different planning guides that are also a nice complement to EntreSkills. And you can certainly contact your local center to see if an advisor might be willing to do a presentation, or we also have lots of workshops that take place around the state. So I just want to point that out to you. We'll go back to the EntreSkills page. Does anybody have any questions or any comments? Did I go too quickly through something, or do you want me to go through something over again? It's a lot to digest. And I think the best way to get to know the system is, if you don't already have an account, to go ahead and register and then move around in the program on your own and get familiar with it. And if you ever find anything that you think is incorrect, or some sort of problem with the program, please let us know, because we want this to be a helpful tool for you. The content is great. I've owned a small business, and I wish I had had this course to guide me when I started it, because it really is really good at covering the basics of starting a business. The content is quite accurate, and we do update it pretty regularly. So I think you'll find it a good tool to use. And it's nice that we have the client videos to reinforce the chapter content, because it's nice to hear from other business owners and what they've gone through. So unless anybody has any other questions or comments, I will go ahead and end the webinar. And again, I did record today's session, so if you want to refer back to it, you can go to our YouTube page and you'll find it up there. I will be conducting future trainings, so feel free to sign up for more. And also, you can connect with us. We have a newsletter, which I think most of you are already signed up for, but if not, you can subscribe for it here, and you can read our latest newsletter by clicking on this link. I have another question. Can this be tailored to teach specific businesses like donut shops? It's actually something we are discussing doing down the line, is to have customized courses for different industries. But you could certainly tailor this just with supplemental materials. So you could go back to the publications on the Small Business Development Center page, and maybe you want to do a restaurant. We have a restaurant planning guide, recipe for success selling food products, guide to exporting. So these would be nice supplemental materials for EntreSkills. But right now, EntreSkills itself can't be customized in the program for specific industries. Thank you for that question. Does anyone else have any questions or any comments? All right. Well, if you do think of any afterwards, like I said, contact us anytime. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. And thank you again for joining us, and have a great day.